So she's going to be with me. Then Mo Rebeck he's a multidisciplinary artist who goes by Robodrone, but he's like an inventor and he's a producer and a songwriter. I don't know how
like
this person has.
Character.
He's a real character and he has all these skills and he's very, very smart. And he is on because he has this like super tech song called All Together Yet Each Alone that's about the pandemic and about the need to wear masks and about the need to be socially distanced. And it's all fascinating. Like his digital artwork has been featured in Facebook, like on Facebook's offices and like all the stuff. And he's very involved with Jiffy. I don't really understand all of it, but I think it's very cool. And so I'm going to talk to him.
Figure it out for 2 hours this morning. I don't know what the hell this guy is.
It's really fun. He's very, very interesting on Instagram, #QueensOfficial, and jiffy.com/Robodrone.
You call 888-94-STARS. That's 888-947-8277. Here's Jenny Hutt.
Well, hello there. All right, it's like a dance party here. It's like a dance party in the quarantine on the show. If you guys could only see Marcus and Katie,
it's not even like
so
one.
good.
It is one.
It is a dance party, and I want to welcome Mo Rebeck
designed to be
to my show. And Mo, I can't see your camera's off, so I can't even see you. Where are you? Are you putting your camera on, or are you keeping it off?
No, let's give it a try again.
Okay, yeah, because I can't see you. I hope you can see me. So
yeah, I can see you well.
Let me tell you that. Okay, good. So Mo Rebeck is it's really interesting guy. He's an American inventor. He's got 9 U.S. patents in satellite and video on demand technology, so he's smart. He's a songwriter and a music producer, as well as a multimedia artist, also known as Robodrone. Before that, you were on, Mo, at the beginning of the show, I was talking about you and your background, and Marcus, my coworker, and I were both like, who is this guy? And how does he do all this? And what is this? And how did he come up with this song and the quarantine and the pandemic? And so how did you sort of get into this whole thing? And then, of course, it ends up with this All Together Yet Alone song by #Queens, which is partially you and other people. So explain, just start.
Well, I mean, the common thread is empowerment. In my first life as an inventor and engineer in microwave applications, I consulted for the U.S. government during the first Gulf War, and I saw that Cristiano Amanpour had a 40-foot satellite truck, and the other journalists had to go to the government station or get it to an airline to get it back to New York or to London. The video clip. Right. So after the war, I spent a year and a half designing a suitcase unit to empower a single war journalist to cover the war by himself or herself and upload it to New York or London. Wow. That is empowerment, right? So a single person can do that. And I was given the 9. I applied for 1 patent. I got 9 patents, and the U.S. government gave me allowed the patents on the basis that I was the first one to demonstrate that the user of the library could also contribute to the library, as in received wisdom. Right? Fast forward, to my second life as an artist. Empowering. Through art, in the sense that the artist should be also inviting the consumer to contribute to the art, but you have to find a matrix for that. So I have done that.
Yeah, it seems like you have done that. I mean, we could first talk about the song because it's relevant to now. This #Queens. So explain #Queens. And explain the song All Together Yet Each Alone and why this was important for you to put it out now in the midst of this global pandemic.
#Queens is a song I wrote 3 years ago, which then just evolved as a kind of vehicle to express things that needed to be expressed and people for people to hear. And then we developed a comic book, and from that a 3D plus artwork, which is like Botticelli meets Fabergé in Hollywood kind of a thing, which is very appropriate for all things Instagram. That in turn gave me the platform to, and I'm using hashtag Queens when I write the song. We have studio singers in London, and BBC picked up our songs. BBC Introducing, which is the BBC part that does new songs, and they just picked them up and played them, and they liked them. So because our songs are the way I write them is they are lyrics led. So the lyrics dominate and lead the music, and they have something to say, that is to say that they have something to say, meaning that it should reflect, express, and celebrate the new social changes. As opposed to
sort of.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, in other words, you can keep the same beat and keep the same music, but you change the lyrics to reflect sort of what's happening in our time. So we could be dancing and hearing the words that we have to be apart, and we have to do this separate and be together, yet also alone. It's this concept of social distancing and still having a good time. We have to be responsible.
Yeah, the title of the song was a reflection of mine 2 years ago. That's what the internet is. We're all together, yet each alone, and it found its new expression in COVID times.
Right. It's totally true. I mean, that is what I think the reason that obviously your health is the most important, so people are physically okay and their health is okay, but I think we're staying mentally as okay as we can be because we can connect via the internet, via art, via music, all from the confines of our own homes, our own spaces. So everybody's safe, but we all can engage.
Yeah, digitization has made us robot friendly. Your own robot, that is Robodrone, is a play on our robot, but their drone in our lives, right? So it's an acronym of that, and that means that our own phone is my phone. My phone is grading me on creativity through the Screen Time app.
Right. And then what I think about is that you have sort of decided that an artist should give artwork and give art to society and to people that they can engage with. It's a sort of a different take or a different look at what art is and the role that the artist plays in society. It's not just that you hand over a painting. There's something that you've created that you want people to be involved with and make it their own.
Yes, I think modern and contemporary art is still stuck in the 1950s and just doing new apps of that philosophy. Whereas we are living in a digital world, and COVID just slammed our face into it. So the future will never look the same from the vantage point of 2019. So if it's changed and people are now empowered through their phones, which can do everything, including distributed art. You can create the art, you can show the art, and you can distribute the art, and you can monetize the art, right? Via YouTube, for example. So it's a whole new world. So all I'm doing is, the institutions are behind. So the people are leading the institutions rather than the institutions leading the people. So classically, it was the institutions lead the people. That's why it was a vertical top-down world, right? Whereas the new world is flat. It's democratic, it's empowering, and people want to be engaged, and they want to create as much as they want to consume. So therefore, the evolution is speeding up. We're going to be doing more things and doing better things and just becoming better at everything because everybody is contributing. So you as an artist need to create a matrix for that.
you're right. People will say to me, and I'm sure they say it to you all the time, how do I break into this business? Or how do I do this? Or how do I do that? Or how do I become an internet personality or an influencer? Or how do I, and the answer is always start doing, start posting, start creating, just start doing, because that is the way today for people to become known or become personalities. You have to actually start doing the work.
Exactly, and well, it's one thing to say it, but another thing to do it. But yet now the times have changed, so you can do it. You don't need an agent, you don't need a gallery, you don't need a record company, you don't need a movie studio. All of this is available to you democratically and in a decentralized, distributed way. So why not take advantage of we're just late to the party.
Right. Now, you're very involved with GIFs and Jiffy.com. Robodrone has a very big page, well-traveled page on Jiffy. And Jiffy is, of course, you guys all know what GIFs are because we use them in every one of our text messages and whatever. But explain your whole Robodrone thing and the point of the Jiffy and how that all works.
Yeah, Universal Music Group distributes our songs, so I asked them to set up a channel for us on Jiffy. When they did that, my friends in social media said, "Don't bother with. I want to do a non-physical application of the artwork I'm doing." So they said, "Don't bother with anything more than 4 or 5 seconds. People have no patience for it, and it just won't work." So we did a short form, 4 to 5 seconds, and then a 25, 30-second form. Well, lo and behold, the 25, 30-second form worked very well because we're not doing video applications. It's like a native social media application, and people loved it. And we have nothing less. We have like between 800,000 and 1.2 million people every single day, day in, day out, who can't punch in a channel number, who can't click a link. They got to write the name #Queens to access the GIFs on Jiffy via Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, etc. And lo and behold, Facebook just bought Jiffy for $400 million last month. They don't want their enemies to have it because it's the new social media language. If you want to, time is everything. So for me to send a message to you of 50 words that express our common values, it may take me 20 minutes. Sending you a GIF that embodies our common values is 1 minute. So it saves me time, and it's cute and it's fun.
I feel like you never sleep because your mind seems to just be going and going and going. So can you ever turn it off? Because you are like, I feel like you have so much in there that you constantly have to keep getting out.
No, I don't really. I just what I create entertains me. So I don't need to be entertained. I entertain myself. And so that is my own entertainment and my work combined. So it's fun always. I don't see it as pressing, pushing, stressing, or anything like that.
You enjoy it. You've created almost 500. You've done almost 500
animated 500 GIFs, right.
I wouldn't even know how to make one. I don't even know how to put my name pretty much online. Like, how do you learn this?
It's once you do video, then you're dealing with frames, and this is the cousin. The video frames are the cousin of GIF frames. It's just slightly different in structure. So, but it is a new hybrid hieroglyph language. Of words and text. GIFs alone won't do well. You got to have words, and the words have to be meaningful, and people have to be able to manipulate the GIF into their message. So, as I said, nobody comes for a specific GIF. They just come to Robodrone as a kind of Disney studio. You want to buy a movie for your children, you go to Disney because you'll find something. They just go looking for something. but it's 1 million people a day. It's a lot. I mean,
That is
and they're all
it's
real.
crazy. And then, yeah.
Because
yeah.
you cannot be a robot or or any kind of a program to search, select, and share a GIF. You got to be a human.
Right, of course, because you have to have the ability to actually figure out what works in the moment and what you're looking for. That takes real analytic skill. It's not, you can't just.
It's just a methodology doesn't lend itself
Right.
to a robot doing it. It's got to be a human being.
Exactly.
And those human beings are social media trendsetters, a lot of whom work for big tech.
Right, right. Now, your most popular GIF was Florence Nightingale.
Yes, of all, I mean, we've had Marilyn Monroe, Statue of Liberty, but Florence Nightingale, took the top honors. 8
Yeah,
million,
well, that
8 million people who love her, and then shared her with millions of others.
Wow, wow. And so, and you're working on other stuff now too, right? You have obviously #Queens and the song All Together Yet Still Alone. But what else what are you working on? What kind
On
of artwork are you doing now?
video game application of #Queens as a Shio as a justice warrior, where they with a full in today's climate, she is American of Somali, Dutch, Chinese origin. She's one of the #Queens we had in the comic book. So the difference is that the gamer, if he or she buys enough peripherals, can be invited into the game and become her love interest or her partner, and she in turn can bestow immortality on the gamer by making him famous as a GIF, or her. Taking their
That's
face
really
and
cool.
body and launching them into real world
Yeah.
fame, because it's not a video game. It's like real world fame. But when social media trendsetters share you, you are like real. I mean, you're a real person in a digital framework.
Yes, and then you also have the thing you were doing, Forever Famous. I love this because this whole concept, because I saw this was something that you had in Facebook, not Forever Famous, but you had done this thing with the throne in Facebook where people
Facebook
came in
immediately when we showcased it at Chris Contini Gallery in London, they requested it as a loan for their 8th floor in their headquarters building, which controls Europe and Middle East and Africa, and they had it there for like 10 months, and they put it into a movie because Mark Zuckerberg convened a summit in April of 2019, and they used the throne in the movie because Facebook, at the end of the day, introduces the analog world to the digital world.
Yeah.
Because advertising is its model.
But I thought what was cool was that you had people interact with the artwork, that it wasn't the sort of thing that they watched it
Exactly.
from a distance. People were sitting on the throne and
Exactly.
taking pictures with the throne and
sharing, meaning that the visitor to the art gallery is no longer just a visitor. The visitor to the art gallery is also a visiting artist, that they can create new art and then share it from the throne with their friends on social media, so that they are creating art to the physical environment and to the digital environment.
Yeah, it's all very collaborative.
Yes.
What you do.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's fascinating because it's again, as I said before, like you have to really know technology and be smart to like understand a lot of this, because it's like I don't know how you do it.
It's
I don't
simple.
know how you do it.
Your smartphone is 99% of everything you need. You just need to step up to the plate. I think it's the problem is more psychological than real. That we all are been conditioned on the artist at the top, the consumer at the bottom, received wisdom, and all that nonsense. We are all contributing to global wisdom, just like a supercomputer does. It analyzes a problem from all directions and crunches it. So we're all contributing, and it's just a new world. It's a flat world. it's an accessible world, and people just haven't woken up to that because the old institutions are still banging away, as if this was the 1950s.
I think this is really, I think it's really interesting. It's really fascinating. Mo, where do people find you? If they can go to jiffy.com, #Robodrone.
Yeah.
I know
Just hashtag Queens will
is
take
on
them there,
Insta-
or hashtag Queens Official on
on
Instagram,
Instagram.
for example, or hashtag Queens on
Okay.
Facebook.
Right. And I linked to #Queens on my Instagram at Just Jenny Hutt, so you can go through my story to get to you that way too. But they could go to the Jiffy page, jiffy.com/Robodrone.
Yeah, that's one
and
way, or
see
just hashtag Queens.
all
It'll
this-
take you.
Okay. Spelled out hashtag.
Yeah,
just so
has
people
spell
know
out,
they have to
correct.
Spell
Yes,
it, hashtag.
yes.
You're a really fascinating guy. Really,
Thank
really
you for
interesting.
giving me the platform to kind of go through this, because I think it's important. It's the people are leading the institutions. The institutions are no longer leading the people, and the
Yep.
institutions have much to learn from the people.
Yep, and that's why actually the song again, it's the idea is to empower you to know that you could dance and you could have a good time. Just
Exactly.
stay apart and do it on your own.
Exactly.
And we can all do it on our own, being together by ourselves. It's
Exactly.
great. All together.
I
you're
mean,
still
we're doing
alone.
it on the internet all the time, so it's a no-brainer. Why can't you do it for your own health,
That's right.
your own life and the life of others? It's not
That's right.
difficult.
Yeah, no, it's and you make it fun. Thank you so much for being on my show. As I let you go, we're going to play a little more of the song.
Thank you, everybody, for making this happen.
You're adorable. So check out #Queens, jiffy.com/Robodrone, and thank you again for being on my show. All right, let me dance. Hold on. We're all dancing, by the way. It's pretty funny. I wish you guys could see Marcus dance. There's nothing better. And then, except for maybe Katie dancing is a little better. But let me do a quick cut list, because then I got to get to Cheryl Underwood. So let me do a quick cut list.